Today, I want to share with you the 36 things that I've learned from selling on Etsy. Lessons about marketing, customer psychology, burnout, what works and what doesn't work for selling on Etsy, and really turning a side hustle into a business that can support you. I've been selling on Etsy for over a decade now, through seasons of burnout, financial success, creative joy, and more than a few failed experiments. My first Etsy shop was Interstellar Art, where I sell my brain art prints. And in 2017, I created my second shop, Tiny Pink Shoe. That's where I sell a lot of my risograph prints, my buttons, my magnets. I also sell my hand pillow sewing pattern there. But there's another shop that I never really told anyone about. I'm actually embarrassed by this third shop that I opened 2 years ago. I built this shop in secret, guided only by analytics, by data, not by my creative interests, not by any real passion that I had for the products that I was making. And I'll share that business with you later in this video. Whether you're just thinking about starting your first Etsy shop, or you've been at this for years and you just need some validation for all the work that you've been putting in, these are the lessons that I wish that I knew sooner. Some of them will save you time, some will save your sanity, and some might completely change the way you think about your creative business. Let's dive in. Also, my nails are cute. Hello. Can you see that? We put little stickers. In Etsy, you have the ability to say your quantity is 100. I could put like 100 of my buttons. Never set it to 100. You gotta set it to something that's like under 5, because that creates scarcity and that creates an urgency about your product. Because what Etsy does is if they see that you only have 2 items left, they will have a little red text say like only 2 left, or last one's left, and it's in someone's cart. So you really wanna make sure that you keep this number low. When you're starting off, especially, get your reviews however you can, because reviews build trust with potential customers. Especially for the first 50 orders, you need to make an effort to reach out directly to the buyer. Message the buyer and say, hey, I'm a new shop and getting customer feedback would be so great. If you could leave me a review, I would really appreciate it. And this is really simple, but that's the extra nudge that they need to actually write a review. Streamline your review asks. There's a way in Etsy messages where you can create a default message so that you don't have to type up the same thing over and over again. So my default message looks like this. And so every time I ask a customer for a review, I don't have to write the whole thing out. I just have to plug in their name and what products I sold them. Bad reviews are rarely about you. People leave bad reviews for reasons that are beyond my control sometimes. I remember I was shipping a product to Canada, and after I had sent it, a few days later, their postal workers went on strike, so a lot of the mail wasn't going out. That was not something that I could control. Like, someone left me a bad review and they said that the item hadn't gotten there. Bad reviews happen. Brush it off. It's not that big of a deal. You'll get a lot more good reviews than bad reviews. Customer messages are opportunities for you to sell your work. So make sure you get back to your customers right away, answer their questions, send them product listings. If they're asking for a specific product that they want, send them that product listing, because chances are if they went through the effort to message you, they will put that item in their cart and they will buy it. Don't let the screen separate you from the fact that customer messages are also customer support, so be really polite. If people are asking dumb questions, let them. You have to be polite and professional. Always offer free shipping. Free shipping will get you in so many more searches. Build the shipping cost into your overall price for your item. Don't overthink it. For example, if I sell a button, I want to be able to make $4 from that sale. But I also know that shipping that button costs $4.50. When I make that listing go live, customer will see an $8.50 button, not a $4 button, because that way the shipping is included in that $8.50 price. Packaging is part of your product. Make people feel like they're unwrapping a gift. I remember when I first started selling on Etsy, I would decorate my packages with all these cute little stickers so that people would feel before they even open their packages that they were receiving something really special. Also, if your products are prone to damage, make sure you're doing everything you can to prevent prevent that damage from happening, because damaged products cost a lot of money to make it right. For example, my brain art prints, the edges would get bent by the postal service, so I ended up using more cardboard backing boards to sandwich the prints so that when I packaged it in a bubble mailer that it would come super crisp and not damaged at all. And ever since I did that, I've had 0 customer complaints about bent edges on my prints. Handwritten thank you notes build loyalty and a feeling that they're actually buying something from a person. A lot of people shop on Etsy because they believe that they're buying from an independent seller, which if you buy from me, you're buying directly from me. And a handwritten letter doesn't necessarily mean you have to write it out by hand. So what I did was I wrote a generic thank you letter by hand, and then I scanned that into my computer, and now I have this printout that I can just cut up and include in all of my packages. Sometimes people open it and they do think it's a handwritten message, and that's a comment that I get a lot in my reviews is like, there was even a nice handwritten note. And that's something that I take pride in, is that people can see like my handwriting, and this is an actual person who I'm interacting with and I'm supporting. By validating this idea that a lot of people have buying on Etsy, that they are buying from real people, you are building loyalty and you are increasing this sense that people are part of this community. And I think that's a really important part of selling on Etsy. Use your shop announcements as a place to show your personality and talk about what you're going through at the time. This keeps people up to date about when they can expect shipments. When I had my first and second babies, I always had my shop announcements. Orders will be delayed during this time because I'm going to be caring for my baby. A lot of people actually do read that stuff, and it reminds people that they're dealing with a human who is dealing with their life and raising a newborn. So make sure that you really are human in those parts. I know it seems weird because we are humans, right? Are you human? Click here if you're a robot. The photo sections matter so much. This section, I think, matters more than the titles. I think it matters more than the reviews. And Etsy now has a way you can upload a video, and you should definitely do that. It's so easy to make videos these days, and you have no reason why you shouldn't be making videos of your products. Even if it's not perfect, you can always make another one later. A lot of people don't even read the description, and they'll just scroll through the photos. For some products, people are always asking the same questions, and that is something that you can answer in the photo section. We're so lucky because our phones are such great cameras these days, so you don't need to go out and get like a fancy camera or anything. Make sure that the lens are clean, make sure that you have a nice little setup, make sure you have decent lighting. There's so many YouTube videos where you can find out how to do product photography. I'm not going to get into it here because honestly it's so boring, but I learned it and I hope you do too, because good product photography will change the game for you. You can also think about the photo section not just in terms of photos of your work, but you can also include things like reviews. So if you got a really positive review on your product, you can put an image of the review there. You can have images that have charts that tell people the sizing information. So there's a lot of information that you can include in the photo section that you are probably also including in the description, but you do that because people don't always read the description. I know, sad. Why don't people read? Read more. Everyone, go read a book. What are you doing watching this video? Go read a book. Please go read a book. Titles and tags are super important. So this gets into more like SEO stuff. Do your keyword research and think like a buyer, not an artist. So put yourself in the shoes of the person who's looking for your item. For example, for years, I was calling my brain art, and I still call it brain art, but I realized that a lot of my customers were people buying gifts for professors or for students if they're working in academics. So I started using the keyword gifts for medical students. And that helped me so much more than using brain art, because people weren't searching for brain art as much as they were searching for gifts for a medical student. There's so many resources out there where you can learn how to do your own keyword research. But what I would do if you're just starting out is go into and type in what you would search for the keywords for looking for your product. So that is important to include in your titles and tags and in your description. Never go on vacation mode. If you're gonna be gone for 2 2 weeks. There is a setting in Etsy where you can go on vacation mode and it'll pretty much turn off your shop and it'll have an announcement saying the shop owner's on vacation right now. When you go on vacation mode, it just stops all the momentum. My SEO got really bad. I just was not getting the same amount of traffic. What you should do instead is go to your shipping settings, and if you know you're going to be on vacation for 2 weeks, you just set your shipping settings for 2 weeks from then. So your shop is still open, people can still buy, but the customers are going to see that you're not going to ship their items for 2 weeks. SEO is real, so titles, tags matter, all of that matters, but external traffic is so important. For external traffic, I've tried doing marketing on Instagram, I've tried doing it on Facebook, I still have a TikTok. I might post on there every now and again. What I've learned works best for my business and for my skill sets and for my interests are YouTube, Pinterest, my website, and email marketing. So these 4 things. If you have a big Instagram following or if you have a big TikTok following, you should definitely lean into that. I was so freaked out by TikTok. I used it for like maybe 6 months and I was like, this is so chaotic. How can anyone be on here? And then Instagram just makes me feel terrible. So you need to find something that makes you feel good and that you can be consistent with. Find the platforms that you like and that make you feel good and that you can actually create content for, because if you can't create content for it, then you're just gonna burn yourself out so fast. And out of those 4 things, the email list is super important. So what I would do is I would make a freebie and I would just start collecting emails. I remember I did email marketing for one of my first jobs after college, and it was so much more difficult to figure out all the automations, but things are a lot easier now, and there's so many resources where you can teach yourself how to do email marketing, and it really has changed my game. And an email list is something that you own. So for YouTube subscribers, you don't own that list of subscribers. And for Instagram, you don't own your followers. But with email list, that is yours. So if MailChimp ever shuts down, I can take that list and I can still email those people. But if Instagram one day decides that I am bad, they're bad, then they can deactivate my account and there goes a whole chunk of my marketing. So make sure you invest at least some time into email marketing because it is so powerful. My camera was overheating for some reason, I don't know. Am I too hot? Am I too hot? Am I too hot for my camera? I might be. Sales and discounts work, but only in moderation. Don't cheapen your products, don't cheapen your brand by constantly having 50% off sales. They do work, especially when you're launching a new product, especially when you just open a new Etsy shop. You do want to have those discounts, but if you've been around for a while and you're like, what's working, what's not working, don't just do a discount because it can really cheapen your product and then people expect discounts and you don't want that to happen. My discounts, what I usually do is I will price my items at like 20 to 25% higher, and then I'll run a sale that is a 25% off sale, which seems like a big sale, but if I'm increasing the price by 25%, then I'm not really losing any money on that sale. Sometimes pricing your items a little bit higher will make them sell better because having a higher price item creates a perceived increase in value, especially for all you makers and creators out there who are making your items by hand. If you are hand painting things, if you are gluing things on with your hands, if you're making polymer clay things, price it a little bit higher because chances are a lot of stuff in your competition are not handmade items. A lot of stuff on Etsy, I'm sorry to say this, are just bought from factories in China and people get them delivered here and then they put a markup on it and then sell it. Your item is not the same as that. You are making your items by hand, so you should be pricing your items a little bit higher. And pricing you can play around with. You don't have to commit to a price and say, my brain art is $5.99 and it will never go up. It can go up and it can go down because you are in control of your business. That is the cool thing about having an Etsy shop, is that you generally have a lot of control over the pricing and how your items are perceived and sent out into the world. Urgency sells. So by doing things like having limited edition and having really fast sales, like maybe a 2-day sale, countdowns, having low inventory, that thing that was in my first point. We're human social creatures and we really feel societal pressures, and that carries over into businesses and into selling stuff. Bundles. Repeat after me. Did that go make me all blurry? Bundles, okay? You want to bundle things. My best-selling product ever is my brain art print set of 3. I have the axial, the coronal, and the sagittal brains. By having a bundle, it's beneficial for me because it's a higher per item profit, and the time it takes to package a set of 3 versus a single set is about the same. Selling these higher priced items makes it so much easier for me, and it's better for the customer because they do receive a small discount. And then you got to pitch your bundles. Not only should you have your bundles bundled up, you got to pitch them on your Etsy shop. For example, I have my Britney Spears magnet. And so on that listing for that one product, I'll say, hey, you're interested in this Britney Spears magnet. Why not get the entire set of 10 magnets and give them to 9 of your best friends or whatever? Who has 9 best friends? Raise your hand if you have 9 best friends. Not me. Coffee break. You can include a photo in your photo section on your listing for the single item, and you can say, we also offer this set of 10 magnets, and you would receive a discount on it. You also need to tell the potential customer that the link is in the description box so that they can go directly to that listing. This means that rather than selling an $8 button, I will be selling a $40 set of Britney Spears magnets. If you're someone who is just starting off your Etsy shop, maybe you're thinking about starting one next week, this is what I would recommend. There's a lot of preparation that goes into a successful shop launch, and it's not doing it piecemeal. Get all of your products together. So get all of the items that you want to have on your shop. You need to have everything ready before you go. And what I mean by everything is that you need to make sure you have your descriptions. You need to make sure that you have your photos, they're edited and they look nice. Have your videos. Rather than posting all of your listings all at the same time, I would post them every 2 days or every 3 days. When a new listing goes live on Etsy, that product automatically gets a little bump because it's new. Then in between those days, I would spend a day or 2 marketing that product on Pinterest. If you do email marketing or if you do Instagram, that initial stage when you first post your product is really important, and you do need to spend some time to get eyeballs to look at it. And when you get people looking through the photos, that tells Etsy that this is a good product and that people are interested in it, and they show it to more people. Let's get to the real stuff. You will not go viral overnight. What are you thinking? You think you're gonna go viral overnight? No. That's what I thought. Etsy is a slow burn. You have to actually work. So humble yourselves. Don't tie your self-worth to your sales, okay? You are more than a number, please. This is important because if you do, you will stop right away and you will not keep going, okay? And what it takes to be successful is consistency. Some months you'll feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Other months you'll feel on top of the world, and neither defines who you are. Your shop isn't a reflection of you as an artist. It's not your identity. It's like a reflection of one aspect of your creativity. Not your entire self-worth. It's not the entire body of your work. Your Etsy shop is not your entire identity as an artist. We're just trying to sell stuff to people. This is not necessarily like I'm making art that is profound. Most days I am putting on a business hat and saying, what good business decisions can I make with my shop? Not how can I be a more creative artist? But what brings joy can also bring change. So it's also important to lean into the things that you like. And even if it isn't all of who you are, if at least your Etsy shop can be one aspect of your creative life, then that's great. Success doesn't always mean alignment. You can still make a lot of money on Etsy, but you can feel really drained. So find that sweet spot where you're making just enough money and not feeling drained, because you matter. And it's okay to pivot. If you find yourself making the same art for years and then one day you're like, I'm actually really bored of this and I want to do something else. I feel like I'm in this pigeonhole where I'm the brain art girl. There's so many other kinds of art that I make and that I enjoy making, and there's so many other things that I'm interested in. And so I'm thinking making these YouTube videos has been like a fun pivot for me. I still have my brain art thing, but I need something else. You're allowed to outgrow your earlier work, and that's not failure, that's just evolution. I have a video about how to design a studio to optimize your creative output, so I'm gonna link to that video here. If you want to learn more about how to create a studio that helps you be creative, then click on this link. But let's get into business stuff. Holidays are everything. I make 30 to 40% of my entire year's income in the months of November and December. So those months are super duper important. If you are prepping for your holiday season in December, you are too late. You got to start October. Slow months are completely normal, so don't freak out if you have a couple slow months. You got to just keep posting the new products, do your marketing. So don't even worry about it. You gotta learn your shop's rhythms. A lot of people experience an increase in sales in the holiday months, so November, December, but there's also secondary cycles that happen depending on what business you're in. For example, for my brain art shop, I see that I have an increase in sales around graduation. So May, June, I can have an increase in sales. And then also when the school year starts, so August, September, I might see another increase in sales then. Under promise and over deliver. Keep processing time super realistic. If you're not able to send your product out in 1 to 2 days, then tell the customers that, because it's way worse to overpromise and underdeliver. Exceeding expectations is really important with the shipping section. Stats are your friend, but not in the first 6 months of your shop opening. But after you've been on Etsy for a while, you can start looking into the stats and you can start learning about keywords that are bringing traffic to your shop. You can start learning about where traffic is coming from. I didn't know for a long time, but a lot of traffic comes from my website. So then after that, I started investing a lot more time and energy in updating my website. Shop updates and announcements really boost internal traffic within Etsy. So Etsy loves active shops. Even small tweaks to your shop page or your banner really helps them see that you are investing time so that they show your shop to potential customers. Digital products are so powerful. No shipping, no packaging, but they only work if you actually care about the topic. I learned this the hard way. My third Etsy shop is called Good Luck Templates. This shop that I made before my second kid. And the reason why I wanted to start a shop with digital products was because I wanted a system set up. I wouldn't have to worry so much about shipping items out and dealing with as much customer support. I was like, I'm gonna find the best digital product to sell, make a shop. Now that I know how to run 2 Etsy shops, why can't I do a third? Good Luck Templates is where I sell digital resume templates, specifically towards medical professionals like nurses. I spent 6 months when I was pregnant. I was making these digital products. I was learning how to do formatting and how to make these really great packages of resume templates. And I'm still really proud of the work that I put into it because I think they are really good products and I do get good reviews on my resume templates. The thing is that I had zero interest in resume templates. I had zero knowledge of medical professionals. I had just done my keyword research and found that there was a gap in the market and that I was going to be the one to fill it because I wanted to build a shop that was purely for the money and purely a digital product. So I put in 6 months of work making 12 different designs, and it was not passive. It was a lot of work. It was so many hours. Ultimately, I learned really cool skills. I learned how to format in Word and Apple Pages and Google Docs. and I learned how to sell this product. But after all of this effort, I didn't make the number of sales that I thought I would. I did all the Pinterest stuff, started an email list. I was doing everything. If you're just chasing the money, make sure that you have at least a little bit of interest in the thing that you are making, because it'll make a world of difference. After I made this product, the shop's still up and it still makes money, but not that much, like maybe $100 a month. I thought that I would be filling this big gap in the market and that I would be easily making $1,000 a month passively. But as we know, passive income is a lie. It's not real. After a year of trying to launch this shop, I realized it wasn't something that I was interested in or invested in. But what I did do was take everything that I learned from making this digital product, these resume templates, and I made a digital product that I actually liked. I made this sewing pattern for this weird hand pillow. I have a video of how you can make your own hand pillow right here. So I made this sewing pattern, and I love sewing and I love making wacky pillows. And so this was like a cool pillow that I was super excited about. So I invested my time into it. I made this digital product, which is now on my Tiny Pink Shoe shop, and my hand pillow pattern is now my best selling product on my store. Though you might fail at some aspect of Etsy, you can always learn something from your failures. That is what separates people who are successful and people who are not successful on Etsy, is if you're able to learn from your mistakes and you're able to stay consistent and not get so down on yourself when those months are hard or when you've put in a lot of work and it's just not seeming like it's working. Success does not erase burnout. One year I made $75,000 just from my Etsy shop, and for some people that might seem like a crazy low number, and for some people that might seem like a crazy high number. But for me, that was a good year. Me being able to pay for my rent, me being able to buy my own groceries, and me being able to go out for dinner and drinks and just do the things that I loved. That was a big deal for me to make that much money that year. But it didn't eliminate the burnout. You might experience financial success, it can still burn you out. So it's important to take care of yourself and love yourself and do the things that make you feel good and not let yourself get so burnt out by your work. And my last tip is you've got to invest in yourself. Starting an Etsy shop really does require you to learn so many new skills, and you're not gonna be a master at all of those skills all at once. Not in a week, not in a month. It took me a few months to learn product photography. As an Etsy shop, a lot of times you're doing it entirely on your own. You're gonna have to learn marketing all on your own. You're gonna have to learn email marketing all on your own. All of this takes time. So invest in yourself, read books, watch the informational YouTube videos, take courses, sign up for classes, learn new things, because that is the most interesting part about being an independent creator, is amass all these great new skills. Right now I'm learning video editing, and it's a skill that I really enjoy learning more about. 3 Etsy shops later, I've realized this isn't like all about selling. It's about building something that fits the life that you want. And all these lessons came from failures as much as they did from successes. If you're starting out, I really hope you can get at least a little bit of good information and you can skip out on the mistakes that I've made. If you want to learn more about how I make a living as an artist, please watch this next video about how I sell my work in brick and mortar retail stores. And if you're curious about making your own hand pillow, then I do have a link below for my hand pillow pattern. It's really fun to make and it's great for beginners. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.